And welcome back. Don't worry, darling. uh, don't worry, darling. You want to talk about a film that's had some controversy as of late? There's a whole bunch of shit that has been spoken about, like the behind the scenes with Shia LaBeouf, Olivia Wilde. Allegedly, no rumor she was dating Harry Styles while they were filming. Allegedly, she didn't get along with Florence Pugh. Now, how much of this is true, we will only speculate until the actual information comes out. What it does seem like, though, is that there was a lot of drama. But does that translate into the film? Well, no, not really. That said, how good is the film? Because as it stands, the audience have given it a pretty solid score, around 80-something%. The critics only gave it like a 36. Does that show? Are some of the things I've heard valid? Well, we sat down there. First off, it was a very odd experience because there was clearly a lot of Harry Styles fans who I honestly completely forgot was from One Direction. Do I look like a person who cares about One Direction? I think not. So I didn't even know he was from One Direction. But every time he was on screen and it was trying to act, all the people were laughing in the theater a lot. There's a scene, and you see it in the trailer, where she's wrapping saran wrap around her head to suffocate herself, and people are just laughing about that. I'm like, yeah, it is kind of silly. It's particularly, I think, how it's like directed, that scene. But it's still it's still like, what's so funny here? There's a scene where he's screaming and they're still laughing. So like, I get the impression we had a lot of One Direction fans in here. It's like, Harry Styles, because my girlfriend heard some girls talking and said, we gotta want to see some Harry Styles X-rated junk here. It's like, okay, now we know what the big appeal for a lot of this audience was. But beyond that, so that was first time. It was a kind of an odd, I'm just adjusting my camera, kind of an odd experience in that regard. So what did I think about the movie? Well, I'll say initially first off, as always, I am not revealing anything that isn't already in the trailer. So anything I say is simply in the trailer. Now, if you said, well, I didn't watch the trailer, so I don't want spoilers. Why are you watching a review? Why are you watching a review if you didn't even watch the trailer? It's like, I want an opinion. And yet you didn't watch, you see the problem here, right? But this is assuming anyone is like that. I doubt anyone's like that. If you're watching a review for a movie that you're interested in, you clearly know about the movie and have clearly seen at least a trailer. Or I would assume. Otherwise, don't go blaming people for talking about what's in the trailer and therefore not a spoiler. That being said, I will preface this by saying what I said coming out of the movie initially, and me and my girlfriend were like, what? Yeah, I was like, yeah. When I got out of the movie, I wasn't certain if I liked it or disliked it. Now, I want to be very clear. I do not hate this movie. This is probably not the worst movie I've seen this year. It's not good, but it'll probably be on the top 10 worst list, but that's only because it's been a bit of a shallow year for bad movies this year, surprisingly. So there's that. Let me also talk about what I like first about the film, because there is good in this film. All of the acting, save one, is pretty solid. Particularly because it's, when I watched Brad's video, Brad Jones, CinemaSnot's review for it. He made a good point, and I realized that's one of the problems. The script it's not a very good script in a lot of points. Not a terrible script, but not a good script. Apparently, this was like a Left 4 Dead, just blacklisted script that Olivia Wilde wanted to do a movie on. So watching it, I'm like, I can see why it got blacklisted. But the acting, Florence Pugh, she's carrying this movie on her shoulders. The girl is talented. The woman is talented. I mean, she's very young looking. I don't think she's, how old is Florence Pugh anyway? That's a good question. Let's find out. Florence Pugh. One second here. Florence Pugh. How old is Florence Pugh? Florence Pugh is only 26 years old. Yeah, I think that's where my mind went to go, because she doesn't look like a high school girl. I could not see her playing a high schooler, but she is young looking, and it's clear. She's when she did Black Widow, was it last year? Yeah, last year. When she did Black Widow, she was 25, 20. No, she was only in her early 20s. This girl, I'll say that. This girl's going to have a great career. Hey, I'm 32. I can call her a girl. No, this girl's going to have a good, long career ahead of her. She is, because I think she's Emmy nominated. She has some awards. Was she Oscar nominated, or was she Emmy nominated, or both? Hold on. She's got one Oscar nomination. What was it for? It must have been something recently. One Oscar nomination for Little Women. That's what it was. So this girl's got talent, and she carries it. She blends the perfectly happy with the psychologically, tormented. She blends it well. Like the actual, when she finally has to stand up for herself, she does it. I like it. She's captivating to watch. She's also a very, very beautiful girl, a very beautiful woman too. My girlfriend even goes, "She's really pretty." He's like, "Yeah, she is." Chris Pine is very, like, this is where a good actor comes in for a less than quality script, because the script is his whole shtick, because you can tell he's the bad guy. To a degree, he's the bad guy. He's just monologuing and being menacing, but he does it well. He legitimately comes off as menacing in this. He's very controlling, very like, "Oh, really? Yeah, what exactly do you have to say about that? It's really sad what's going on here." And he just turn the situation on her, and he's very good at doing this. And I like Chris Pine. Absolutely, I like him in that. And everyone else, Olivia Wilde's good. There is a twist that you can see coming with her, but there's a twist on the twist with that. Later on, they show it in the trailer. She's telling Florence Pugh to run at one point, so you can tell she kind of knows what's going on. Excuse me, a little congestion. So there's that going on. They also capture the 50s, 60s, I guess, Nirvana lifestyle, the environment. They capture that very well, including the soundtrack, the town. They make that look really, it looks good. Absolutely. It honestly looks like a nice neighborhood to live in, all things considered. Now, take your neighbors out of the equation. If you're just talking about like where you're living, yeah, looks fine. I do like the when they're dealing with the psychological play there. I like that too. I think they handle that pretty well. Was there anything else that I actually liked? All the side characters are perfectly serviceable. So, the problem for this film, honestly, is, first off, as good a director as Olivia Wilde is, I think starting out, there is a problem with the soundtrack. It's not soundtrack. The score and the musical tones. They are put in some weird places. There's a scene involving, and again, you see it in the trailer, no spoilers. She's driving a car to a destination and they're being chased. And you'd think you'd have some sort of like build up. It doesn't have to be like do 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 do. It doesn't have to be like that. We might have like a build like it's like do 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 do, like something like just. Instead, there's this repeating musical tone of a like. And it's like you're trying to do a Psycho, because there's the whole movie's like mental games going on, and like, okay, what's real, what's not, all that kind of, because she's questioning her reality, and it just that Saran Wrap scene was the same thing. Is that there was like no real, like there was some actual music playing while she was wrapping her head up, and then it just cuts, and then it gets tense. Like, no, it's like, what you probably should have done was play some music, tense up, and then just go quiet. And then maybe just have like a stinger. And then maybe another stinger. She's trying to get something like that, maybe. So right at the gate, the use of the music questionable. The direction I think is also an issue here too, because this goes to, I think, the biggest problem with the story. And before I get to that, let me talk about the other big problem with the story, and that is, I said the majority of the actors are legitimately good, or at least solid, serviceable. The one person that a lot of people have been saying isn't very good in the movie, and I gotta concur, is Harry Styles. Now, honestly, we were talking about it, me and my girlfriend outside at her place after the fact. It's like, I can see why Shia was, I think, supposed to be that role, because he could have probably saved that more with the way with Shia, because Shia is a great actor. Like, take his personal problems out of the equation. Shia LaBeouf is a very, very good actor. Or even if you had swapped out Chris Pine playing the Harry Styles part and just had someone else as the villain, that could have worked too. But I should be very careful in saying he's not god awful. He's just not very good. And the problem I've heard some people say is that he's kind of just a one-note character. And at first, I'm like, well, not exactly. I mean, he clearly has some sort of knowledge of what's going on. But, yeah, so when we get the reveal of what's happening, both of them, that'll be going into the big problem I have with the film. I'm like, okay, so now they're playing up this part of this character, and I'm like, okay, this is where the acting's really not, this is where his, I think, lack of acting experience, because he actually hasn't had that many, I checked last night, he hasn't had that many movie roles. In fact, give me 1 second here. He, like, had a cameo in at the end of Eternals as Eros, brother of Thanos. Come on. Where are you? Don't worry, darling. Nope. Don't worry, darling. Oh, she's voicing Goldilocks in Puss in Boots and The Last Wish. Oh, that's cool. Harry Styles. 1 second. I'm just making sure to get up his filmography right now. Let's see here. So, okay, Faster, Cheaper, Better. Okay, he's got Mr. Policeman, which is coming. He does have another movie coming out, but other than that, it's Harry Styles, Late Night Talking, music video short. He was in Eternals, music video. All he had a role in Dunkirk, but except for a couple things here and there, it's all been music videos, or like in a one guest appearance on iCarly. Like, the guy clearly is not that much of an actor right now. He needs to kind of build his resume. And it shows, because when there's a point where he's having a conversation with Florence Pugh, and he's angry, and he makes a face, and he goes, like, he literally just, like that, he makes a frowny face. It's not like he's upset, like, look, if I'm upset, maybe more upset, like, let me put an upset face on real quick, and see, that's a frown. That's a legitimate frown. Like, that's a look of, I'm unhappy. Like, I might be, like, putting a bit more of the frown on, but, like, when we're sad, our face will, I start crying, my mouth will, but he's literally going, like, he's really putting the frown on in there. and that's what me, and I leaned over and I just laughed. I laughed. It's just, it's not a very good performance. And when we learn more about the character, I'm like, so in one sense, I guess you're kind of supposed to feel bad, but he's kind of a piece of shit. I'm like, you're clearly trying to put complexity into the character, and Styles does not have the chops to pull it off, is the problem. So that really had an issue. I really had an issue with that. But as I was alluding to, the big problem is this story. And I will tell you right now, the core issue I have with this story is with the trailer. Now, if you have seen the trailer, obviously I won't spoil anything, clearly, but if you've seen the trailer, you've seen it. And we all formed our theories on it. But answer me this. What do you think, just based on the trailer, the twist is? Because I'm going to tell you what, your first go-to answer is, out of 95% of you out there, is going to be the correct answer. That's all I'm going to say. If you can predict a movie just from the trailer, like, let's be very clear. When we see a Marvel movie trailer, we know our hero is almost certainly going to, there's been some exceptions. Obviously, the Avengers film, Tony didn't make it out of Endgame, near the Black Widow. There are heroes that die in those movies, sure. But 9 times out of 10, we assume the hero is going to make it out of there alive. But it's the only thing we really can predict. Other than that, we don't know how. We don't know what the plot beats is going to be. I mean, he's got to fight a villain. Obviously, we can get the bare bone basics, but that's the standard comic book formula. But like the specific plot points of the movie, we can't pick that out. Here, you can looking at the trailer, just going by the trailer, you can pick out they're in this nice little utopia, nice little suburban utopia. She's happy, but now she's not happy. Things are going weird. She's questioning, what's going on. I don't want to be here anymore. And if you've even watched a movie in your life, you're wondering, oh, okay, what's going on here? You can connect the dots very quickly about what's going on. And that's not the best marketing, but to be fair, I don't know how else you market this film in a way where you don't give away like the big reveals. And to those of you who get what I'm saying with saying that if your first guess was probably right, there is a twist on the twist. And I kind of wish I was doing a spoiler video. I don't really usually do spoiler videos anymore, unless it's for one of the big Marvel films or something like that, just because that's the stuff I really like to talk about. But, there's a twist on, like, the first twist, I'm like, okay, we all saw that coming. But what's actually how is the twist being handled? And the twist within the twist, I'm like, of all the ways you could have gone about this, this is actually kind of dumb. This is dumb. And it has a lot of logistical questions to it. Like, okay, so this is happening. You did this, but don't you still have to do A, B, and C get all the way to Z? Like, I'm sorry. And then what happens when this happens? Do you have to do this? And so it's like the movie, it doesn't. And then there's stuff that just happens in the movie where like, well, wait, why did that happen? Was that because of something else? The movie raises a lot of questions without giving you enough answers to compensate. And it really is kind of frustrating. It really is. It actually is very frustrating. We're just like, what? No. There's one question that got raised from a scene that that when I brought it up, and I brought up the answer, like, so does that mean that they have to do this for this to happen? She goes, no, hard no, this movie's no. Like, she was also like, I don't know if I liked it or not. As we were talking, I was like, yeah, I don't think I liked it. And then I brought that up. It's like, nope, bad movie. Ultimately, it's not a god-awful movie. It's not even the worst I've seen this year. In fact, one second. I'm going to just get my list of movies right. Obviously, I got still plenty of movies to see coming up in the year this year. So, come on. There we go. Let's see now. Where is my movies? Yes, movie reviews. But yeah, I've still got plenty of movies to see this year. But just out of the films I have seen this year, let's find out here. Oh, pardon me. Oh, that tasty. Sorry, I had some burgers. They're not sitting bad. They're actually sitting very well. I've been having some very bad acid reflux lately, and part of it's I just need to continually eat to kind of readjust the levels in my body, so I can just not be burning the inside of my stomach. Let's see here. So let me see here. Better than Pinocchio. Yeah. I would say it's better than Pinocchio. And this is just me. And I'm actually, while I'm doing this, I'm also not course correcting. I'm adjusting and editing my my playlist of the movies my movie reviews. Boo, 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 boo. So yeah, it's better than Pinocchio. I'm trying to remember. Was it better? It wasn't better than DC League of Super Pets. DC League of Super Pets was better than this. Uh, you know, well, I'll just deal with that later. Let's find out. Let's do the slash. Let's see here. Bullet Train. Nope. Paws of Fury. It was better than Paws of Fury. I'll give it that. Honestly, the Bob's Burgers movie was better than this. So okay, it's not the worst movie of the year, but it is on the lower end of the scale, to be certain. Yeah. What's it better than Moonfall? When the moon falls, when it crumbles. I just do that every time I say that. It was better than the 355 also. That I will say. It was better than the 355. So yeah, like I said, not the worst movie of the year. It's probably going to make the list unless the next 10 movies I see are crap. Which I highly doubt. The next movie I'm seeing is Smile next week, which my girlfriend does not want to join me for, as that movie basically that trailer traumatized the hell out of her. I still want to see The Woman King. I want to try to get out and see that. But I used to say that I could normally be able to see about like 2 movies a week. But at the rate I'm right now, I can only kind of manage 1 a week, so I kind of got to be pick and choosy. And it was going to be The Woman King last week. And then I realized, I can see Clerks 3 and emotionally cripple myself. Let's do that instead. Oh, man. So, yeah, I liked Clerks 3. I think Clerks 3 is very good. But, man, that movie. It took me a little while to finally get back in a solid emotional level, because I was still lingering on that movie for days after, like, Jesus. So, yeah. Anyway, though, I digress. So thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed. What did you think of the movie? If you've seen it, if you have not, well, I leave it up to you. I'll never tell you not to see something. So until then, thanks for watching, and I'll see you folks later.